So like there's another thing out there that I want you to talk about that like I love that because I really like the going to your rep and talking about the tariff solutions, right? Finding things that aren't affected by tariffs. No brainer, something they could do without changing anything in their office. Like change is the devil. So like anything, nothing changed. Business as usual. Beautiful, beautiful solution. The other one that we talked about a little bit ahead of time is insurance fee negotiation. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So you don't realize as a doctor how you have the ability in order to negotiate different insurance fees with all the different providers and different networks that you could belong to. And it's a maze. It's a true struggle. So what
Yeah.
we see is by bringing Unitas in to talk to our doctors who understand, one, understand the payer systems, two, are able to negotiate on the doctor's behalf, they're able to work wonders. And now you can get more, you can see more, you'll make more per patient in your office.
And I do nothing. Like that's the coolest part about this.
Nothing
Again, this is
different.
like a do nothing, make more money. And I think that a lot of doctors, this is kind of like when you sign up for your first payment processing thing. It's like wherever you go to get your loan, more than likely somebody out there, your bank's gonna be like, you want to process payments soon? You're like, sure, I'm sure this person's doing it for my good. No, like they are going to take as much as possible because you know nothing about this. I think like that's the insurance fee negotiation. We just kind of go in there going, obviously they're going to give me what everybody else gets. No, right? That's not the
Right.
case.
Right. Absolutely. And they're always going to try to give you the least amount possible. That's the insurance job. That's their business. So
That's right.
you always need an advocate fighting on your behalf. And usually those fees are contingent on being able to build up your fee schedule. So
That's really cool. Yeah. So Unitas can do that. And there's another thing that Unitas has. I didn't know this. Like, so even if you are a really good negotiator and you're like, no, I'll take care of that myself and whatever, you're not even allowed to, right? Don't you like, isn't it like
yeah.
somebody told me like, yeah, even if you want to do this and you're like good at it, they're like, yeah, you're not a lawyer. You're not, I forget what it is, but Unitas is actually, they can do it.
Right. They could do it on your behalf and negotiate and explain to you in common sense in layman's terms what it means. Right. And then it
That's
also gives
awesome.
the doctor the ability to decide, do I take this insurance or do I not? Do I go fee for service in this? Many doctors go through that analysis and find that they're far better off going fee for service than participating in these payer
Yeah.
systems. You take a look at millennials, right? I'm a millennial. I go online and I look at the Google reviews. I don't go in my Blue Cross Blue Shield book to see which
No.
doctor I need to go to.
That's right. That's right. I've gone to a doctor before and been like, oh, you don't take my insurance just because I do it the opposite way around. It's like I get it that that's wrong, but you're 100% right. I'd like give me the best reviews. I want to at least go somewhere where they're decent.
Right, right. I want to go somewhere that's going to treat me well, that's out there, understands the market, and has the newest, best equipment.
That simple. Yeah. Nobody goes someplace and walks in like sees like, wood paneling everywhere and dust on the back of the giant computer screen. They're just like, this is probably going to go well. Like that's not how
Yeah.
you feel when you walk in there. So you're 100% right. So let's talk about some opportunities like in the shifting landscape, because I think there's some really cool stuff. You just mentioned millennials. I like to say I'm a zennial. So I temporarily remember that AOL screeching noise that I think everybody else kind of you probably remember it too. I remember when I went from like 4800 baud modem to 9600 to 14.4 and now the world's just insane. So I just remember climbing and every year buying a new modem and cutting myself when I put it in the computer. But like so I always say it's like Zennial because I wear it like a badge of honor. But these millennials and Gen Z doctors are doing something different. They have a different mindset. Tell me about that.
Portion. But
Yeah.
yeah, what I find with millennial and Gen Z doctors, the doctors that are coming out, we're seeing are a lot more entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And there's more associate doctors out there than ever before, where that was once the issue, it is no longer the issue. So every doctor that I see going and opening their first practice, they're already thinking of their second and their third.
Which is wild. Yeah, wild.
Yeah, that is not the normal. So the days of seeing Dr. Ryan Hungate DDS PC on a wall are no longer there. They're seeing Hungate Dental opened in 4 different places throughout the state.
Yeah.
And that's That's what we're finding within all the millennial and Gen Z doctors. They're not looking, they're aggressive, they're hungry. However, there's also those family focused doctors that are
Of
focused
course.
on living a balanced life. And that balanced life is 2 or 3 days of working in an office and the rest of the time being able to enjoy what
Yeah.
they've worked for.
That's where it's at, Steve. So I always tell people the reason I chose dentistry back in the day, my dad's a golf pro. And I remember being on the golf course when I was younger and watching these MDs in scrubs always be late to their tee times, run out, hit their first shot, and like just terrible, just always stressed. Then I remember looking at the dentist, seeing them. They were through their second cigar. They had a couple ice colds in the cart. Right. It was Wednesday because so they weren't working. And I'm like, what have these guys figured out? Like, so that's that family practitioner. And I'm like, I'm going to be a dentist. So I completely appreciate what you're saying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not that either side's good or bad, but those doctors that are entrepreneurial are able to open up multiple locations. Now, where we're seeing the issue is less in finding associates and more in finding hygienists and front desk and being able
Interesting.
to find the right management team to operate a multi-practice organization.
Yeah. But this is where I think we can help, right? And this is where like let's get into this and then we're gonna leave them with some bright stuff at the end of this. So, but like I think this is where we can help. Workflow optimization. How do we turn these people bionic, right? At the end of the day? Because right now, like I think we put together this kind of like motley crew of stuff and we create these own tough ecosystems for ourselves. What do you think?
Well, with Henry Schein One and with Ascend having a cloud platform, and also Detect AI within the system ensures that you're standardizing treatment planning. One of the issues is everybody treatment plans a bit different, but when you
Yeah.
have an organization and you have multiple doctors, you want to make sure that there's consistency in
Yeah.
what you're seeing, how you're diagnosing, and what you're treatment planning for the patients. So the tools and the efficiencies built by Jarvis, Ascend, Detect AI are key to the success of a multi-practice group. And all of these millennial doctors are looking at that and they see what was out in the market with the on-prem, Dentrix systems and EagleSoft
Yeah.
systems that are in the office, but that's not scalable. Everything
No.
is in the cloud.
Yeah.
And I want to be
That's
able
right.
to see how my practice is doing in Nevada while I'm in New York.
That's right. That's right. And I also look at it with like things like you guys just rolled out Link, right? Which is where these scanners are now integrating directly with imaging, with production. So you can go basically from capture, right? Diagnosis to capture
To
to
print.
production all in
Right.
one flow, which that used to not be simple like that.
No, you used to have to go through 3 or 4 different softwares in order to get to that end state. And now with Link, you're able to go from image or from patient file to image to production. Exactly. Whether it's going to a mill, your lab, or a printer, all from the same screen.
It's the dream, right? Like, and that's where I think it's interesting that, with Henry Schein Dental, what you guys are doing is you're actually being mindful of that now, right? Basically saying like, look, I could sell you this plus this, but your workflow is going to kind of be all over the place. You're going to have those systems all over the place. Whereas it's now you're not just looking at this piece of hardware or that piece of software. It's what actually integrates and is actually going to keep your workflow slim. Otherwise, what's going to happen is, and this is what we've traditionally done, is we've traditionally just hired more people to take care of the shitty flow, right? And that's where I think that we can fix those things,
You said it, not me. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about practice efficiency, right? It's making
Yeah.
sure you have the right people in the right place doing the right jobs. And when you have numerous people doing the wrong job, that's where you get caught up. So when you're focused on the bottom line of a dental practice, it's making sure that every single process is as efficient as humanly possible. Look, we could save you, 60% on merchandise. But if you use 3 times as much, I didn't save you anything. So
That's right.
yeah. So
That's a good point.
it's all about efficiency. It's all about making sure your patient's experience are going well, and you do that by giving your staff a unified, simple system to work off of versus a complex system where everything is all over the place. We've all been there where we've tried to take that intraoral scan, and for some reason, it's just not connecting to our systems. And that's
Yeah.
because you don't use that software all the time. With Dentrix
Yeah.
up on the screen, 24/7, and being able to go into your digital scans and go into a 3D print mode is
Game
just a
changer.
much easier flow. Right.
Yeah. So let's leave them with something awesome. I think you gave us some unbelievable takeaways. Look, I'm calling my rep immediately, doing a diagnosis on my practice. What can I save immediately with tariffs? If you haven't optimized your treatment plans or with your fees with Unitas, I don't know what you're doing. Like, just get it going. Two huge things to take care of. There's blood in the water. Let's go grow right now. And that's what these practices are really doing. These top 10%. It's funny, right now we're seeing that if you're in the average compared to last year, those practices are flat, maybe down like a little bit. Top 10% are up 36%.
Yeah.
So
So
what
it's
the heck
there.
is the difference? Yeah, it's there, right? Like, so
It's there.
it's not like they just have a top secret formula. I think that they're doing what you're talking about.
Right. And it's also I mean, if you think about it, those top that are up 36%, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have 36% more patients. It could just
No,
mean that their doctors are able to get treatment acceptance on 36% more of the cases that they present. And
that's right.
that's where we need to get to. That all goes towards efficiency and working within the office. Another function of this is I'm going to stress to all doctors out there: get out there and get CE courses and learn to do more, because you can build a revenue stream when you're able to do more dentistry.
I love that. So tell me really quick, because obviously I think we're still a very interesting company in that we still have people, right? And sometimes I think people look at these systems and they're just like, well, I'm just going to do stuff online. And I think that's fine, right? Obviously, we have the new henryschein.com that's beautiful and section, I think, releasing soon.
Yep.
Um,
July
but
'14.
is that what it is? Okay, sweet, sweet. All right, breaking news right here. This is going to be cool. But at the same time, I mean, during these times, I want a person that's been doing this since Christ was a carpenter, right? I want the person that understands this and has been through it before, right? Talk to me a little bit about, really quick, leaving them like, what can we leverage here with our vendor partnerships, right? With what we're doing with these guys, like how what should they be talking with their reps about that are in there every other week?
They should talk about what's working in their market. You got to remember, these reps see 100 plus offices every few weeks, and they see the offices that are excelling and
Yeah,
thriving, and they see the offices that are stagnant and dying. And this is where you could ask and really rely on your rep. What are they doing? What are your offices doing that's making them successful? And ask them how they can help you implement those practices. Because I can tell you one thing: every single rep at Henry Schein is focused on the success of their dental practices.
that's right. Yeah, I mean, look, if they don't succeed, they don't have that much of a lifespan. So, so
Right.
it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So this really cool. So look, reach out to your reps. I don't care who they are. Talk with them. You're right. It's a cheat code. These guys get to see what's going good, what's going bad. Ask them why somebody else is going bad, like the hows of that stuff. Like that is sage advice. I love that. Well, Steve, this has been amazing. Thanks so much for taking. I know your day is crazy, so thanks so much for taking time out of your day and sharing all that knowledge with our listeners. I want to have you back on here because I know we could talk for hours on this stuff. But thanks so much for being on Spilling the Teeth. This has been great.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
This has been awesome, and thanks so much for listening, everybody. This has been another episode of Spilling the Teeth, and we'll see you next time. Take care.